Sometimes the thing that we avoid the most can be actually the thing that we need the most. And for people with a dysregulated nervous system, people who are living with anxiety, chronic stress, emotional overwhelm, the thing is often boredom. And not only the moments when you really do nothing, the moments of stillness and emptiness, but also some everyday activities that can seem pointless or repetitive, like walking somewhere alone, waiting in line, maybe doing your laundry or washing dishes, or maybe even eating alone without any background noise. These are in-between moments. They don't require your full attention, but they also don't provide you any stimulation, and we often can avoid them. Sometimes you can avoid them consciously and try and multitasking. In other cases, you can distract yourself unconsciously with different kind of noise, music, phone calls, podcasts, and videos, everything but not stillness and not presence. And I know it very well because I was the same. I was constantly distracting myself. Since a teenager, I was always eating with some video, first in front of TV, then with my laptop, then with a phone, and always with the music or with a phone call when I'm going somewhere. I didn't put any attention to this. I didn't question it because it looks like that everyone is doing it. What I didn't realize that these kind of distractions affect people differently depending on their mental health and the state of their nervous system. And as I was focused on much bigger things and bigger problems for me, dealing with my anxiety, insomnia, and even panic attacks, I never put attention to these tiny everyday habits that actually were contributing so much to the way I was feeling, and I discovered it only in the recent years. And now I realize that these moments where we start feeling boredom can be actually used as a portals to nervous system healing. I think for me it all started several years ago when at some point I decided to do my first social media detox, and the result of it were actually surprising for me. It changed so much how I was feeling and what I was doing and how much more productive I became, and actually I was feeling really more happy than usually. But I did it for about 3 weeks, I think, and then I slowly came back to my regular habits, and I made a video about my social media detox experience when I told a bit more in details how it was going, what I was feeling, what results I was getting. You can check it. After this experience later, I started doing other things. And for example, about I think 6 or 7 months ago, I decided to do something about my habit of watching some videos while I'm eating. As I had this habit since very early age, it was difficult to do something about it, and I didn't see it as a big problem. Like it's not something huge why you would put attention to it. But during my inner healing journey, during my self-development, I started focusing more and more on these little things because I'm always looking for improvement, for the ways to feel better, to have a better life also. And when I put attention to this specific habit, I decided I will try to do something about it. So I started eating without watching any videos, and in the beginning it was really difficult. I saw that it's really a moment, it's boring, and also I used it as certain pleasure for myself. It's a distraction. We use pleasure as distraction, and this was one of the main ones that I used since a very early age. But the more I was going into it, the more I was intentionally doing it. I was bringing awareness to the moment, and I was just telling myself it's not the end of the world. It's not so scary just to eat in stillness, just to feel boring. It will not kill you or anything. You're not losing too much. Let's go through this and see how you will feel then. And now it's been I think around 7 months that I'm not doing it anymore, and I don't need it. I'm not looking for it, and I'm extremely happy about it. So I know it's possible to change. And also about 2 months ago, I did a full dopamine detox, and that was very intense experience because this is quite extreme. This is difficult to do, but this is very healing and very, awakening to the reality that you're carrying inside. I also made a video about my dopamine detox, about everything what happened and how I felt, the main thing that the change in my state and in what I was doing was so big that I realized I need to start put attention to it. I can't live in kind of dopamine detox all the time, but I need to shift my everyday habits to finally change it. So by changing my relationship with these boring moments, with doing nothing, with removing pressure to be productive, with removing this distraction and sitting with the feelings that are coming and sitting and being present with everything that is here and now, I start feeling much better. I especially see it in recent days. I finally brought my awareness to it, and that's why I decided to make my video, because I see the difference. I see that it's possible to live differently even you had these habits and anxiety and overthinking, everything that comes with dysregulated nervous system. If you have it all your life, it's still possible to change. The real change actually starts when we have a mindset shift, when we finally realize what actually is working, when we get enough of motivation to do something that before we maybe were not putting attention to it, or maybe we're ignoring because it's so simple. It's not something complicated. Our brain like complicated things, finding something new, some new solution, something difficult to do, some huge change. We use this stuff, but we ignore the simple everyday things. And here I want to explain how actually it all works, why it's helping and why we avoid it, and why it works for people with nervous system that doesn't really feel safe, that can't relax. So if you had not very safe environment in your childhood, maybe very stressful childhood, maybe certain traumatic events, some stressor, some situation that didn't let your nervous system to develop in a healthy way, that didn't teach your body to stay calm and safe, to recover and rest. If you didn't have this, you may end up with certain issues like anxiety, for example. Maybe also you procrastinating a lot and you don't do what you want to do. Maybe you lose motivation easily. Maybe you can't get motivation to do the thing that you want because your energy is used on all this survival mode that happen inside your body, inside your nervous system. And I have video also on this topic where I explain how dysregulated nervous system can be blocking your motivation. If you want to go more in details on this topic, you can check this one. But if you understand already that, yeah, that's maybe your problem, you're always looking for distraction, it's difficult for you to stay still, I will try to encourage you to change your relationship with boredom and stop avoiding it. Because when the moment of the stillness comes, of some calm activity, no distraction, or really completely doing nothing, sitting in silence, that's where there is a chance, there is a portal to start healing your nervous system, to start giving a message to your body that now there is nothing to do, there is nothing to think about, there is nothing to solve. This moment is just stillness, and this moment is created for your healing. It can be extremely uncomfortable at first, but that's actually the sign of the fact that your system can't relax, that it's working, its intention, and your brain is also working. But everything changes when you change your approach. When I saw that it works, that it's healing, that I'm feeling better, that I'm doing more, that my emotional state is better, that my productivity is better, that my motivation is back, that it's really recovering and healing, that's what changed my relationship with this moment. And now I'm learning to use every opportunity that I have to get into this calm state through boredom. Everything that I consider boring, now I'm kind of welcoming it. So once you realize that these moments are not for entertainment, they're not interesting, that's why we're also avoiding them. They're not interesting, they're not distractive, they don't create the feeling I'm doing something, I'm moving somewhere, I'm productive. And if you are an anxious person, you may have this problem that you always need to be productive. You have guilt maybe for not doing enough, or being behind in life, always in a hurry, in a rush. But you may notice that this is not working. This pressure usually brings you not to doing what needs to be done, but maybe more for scrolling, watching something, and distractions that drain your energy but don't give you the results. Once the shift happens with you and you realize that actually this is the thing that can help you to feel better in many different ways. First, it will start healing your nervous system. It will help your body to learn to stay still and safe. It will be moments of recovery. Once you pass through this discomfort or uncomfortable feelings, then it's kind of recharging, recovering. When you go through this moment one time, then another time, then again and again, and you continue to do it regularly, you will start feeling that you feel better. You will be more calm, more present, you will be more focused on what you really want to do, and with energy coming back, you will be able to also start doing things that you were delaying to do for a lot of time, that you were thinking that you can't do, that you don't have energy for them. All these things will start happening if you will welcome and embrace these moments of boredom. I speaking here from my own experience, and for me it was very difficult to arrive to this moment, and I explain it also quite well in my Dopamine Detox video about some challenges that can come if you do it very quick and extreme, like for example you're removing all distraction for several days, because when you do it in this extreme way you get results quicker, but you will have to go through much more uncomfortable feelings, because when we create an opening for healing, it's not just healing for our nervous system, it can also trigger emotional healing. So all the suppressed emotional pain or the feelings that were not processed or repressed emotion, so they can start coming to the surface, and you may need to deal with them. And for this you can check more in my dopamine detox video. But if you don't do extreme dopamine detox, but you start welcoming these moments of stillness and boredom slowly, it should not be so intense, and you can just use them for slow recovery, slow recharge, and slow healing. The other thing that can happen here, that even you start doing this maybe boring activities or doing nothing, you may see that you still can't really rest and relax, because your brain is working. It's constantly scanning for some dangers, looking for solutions, making some decisions, and in this case you maybe have an issue with overthinking, and the previous videos that I made is exactly on the topic. I talked there about the mindset shift that happened to me, that helped me to change relationship with overthinking, and how I actually stopped this habit, maybe not completely, but reduced it so much that it doesn't influence my life anymore in the way it was doing before. So if it's your case and you start accepting the moments of doing nothing or this kind of slow repetitive activities, but you see that you can't stop your brain, you can check also this video about overthinking.